When Sofia Martinez, a 26-year-old single mother, entered Madrid's most luxurious jewelry store with her 3-month-old baby in her arms and wearing a worn-out sweatshirt, all the customers looked at her with disdain. "I want to sell this ring," she said in a trembling voice to the owner Mateo Ruiz, taking out the only memento of her grandmother. "I need money for powdered milk." The ring was worth $50,000, but Sofia didn't know that. What happened next shocked not only Sofia, but everyone present in the store. Because sometimes behind a gesture of despair lies the destiny that will forever change 2 lives. And because the ring that Sofia was about to sell hid a secret that would shake the foundations of one of the richest families in Spain. Madrid, Serrano Street. Sofia Martinez, 26, walked nervously along the most expensive sidewalk in the city, clutching her 3-month-old baby, Lucas, to her chest. The gray sweatshirt he was wearing was worn out. Dirty sneakers, black hair tied back in a messy ponytail that betrayed days of tiredness and worry. Little Lucas cried weakly, a faint cry that broke Sofia's heart. She hadn't had powdered milk for 2 days and the child was only drinking sugar water. The bank account was at 0. Her last salary as a waitress hadn't even been enough to cover the rent for the studio apartment on the outskirts of town. "Calm down, my love," Sofia whispered to the child, kissing his forehead. "Mom will find a solution." She stopped in front of the window of the Ruiz y Hillos jewelry store, one of the most exclusive shops in Madrid. Behind the bulletproof glass glittered diamond necklaces that cost more than Sofia would earn in a lifetime. Sofia took a small gold ring with a small emerald in the center out of her pocket. It was the only memory she had of her grandmother Emma, who died when she was only 16 years old. The ring had always seemed nice to her, but nothing special. She didn't know that the emerald was genuine and that the ring dated back to 1920 with a value that could have changed her life. "Forgive Grandma, little Lucas," she whispered, looking at the ring through her tears. "But you need to eat," he said, pushing open the jewelry store door and going inside. The contrast was immediate and brutal. The interior was a luxurious temple, with white marble, soft lighting, and climate-controlled display cases. The few customers present, elegant ladies with designer handbags and men in frock suits, turned to look at that young mother who looked so out of place. Mateo Ruiz, 35, owner of the jewelry store he inherited from his father, was showing a pearl necklace to a customer when he noticed Sofia. His first instinct was to call security. That girl looked like a homeless person who had gotten lost. But then I saw how she held the child with a tenderness that could not be faked. "Can I help her?" Mateo asked, approaching cautiously. Sofia blushed, feeling the judgmental stares of the other customers. "I'm sorry, I'd like to sell this ring." She took out the ring with a trembling hand. Mateo picked it up to examine it, expecting a piece of costume jewelry, but when he looked at it in the light his eyes were opened. The emerald was genuine. The setting was platinum, not gold as it appeared, and the brand was engraved on the inside. Mateo felt his heart racing. That brand belonged to the prestigious Torriani jewelry store, which closed in the 1940s. The rings in that collection were legendary. "Ma'am," Mateo said, trying to keep his voice steady, "can you tell me where this ring came from?" "It belonged to my grandmother. It's all I have, but my son needs milk and I don't have any more money." Sofia's voice broke. Little Lucas started crying again and Sofia began to rock him desperately. Mateo looked at the ring, then at Sofia, then at the child. A decision was forming in her mind, a decision that would change everything. Mateo approached his desk and picked up a professional magnifying glass. As she examined the ring more closely, Sofia looked around nervously, feeling increasingly uncomfortable. "How much? How much could it be worth?" Sofia asked in a weak voice. Matthew looked up. The ring was worth at least $50,000, maybe more. It was a collector's item, probably belonging to some Spanish noble family. But looking at Sofia, that young mother who couldn't even afford milk for her child, he understood that she had no idea of the treasure she possessed. "Ma'am, excuse me, but may I ask your name?" Mateo said. Sofia Martinez. "Pleased to meet you, I'm Mateo Ruiz." "Sofia, This ring isn't just a simple piece of jewelry. It has an important history. Sophia looked at him, confused, squeezing Lucas tighter. I don't understand. It's just Grandma's ring. Can you tell me something about your grandmother? Sophia hesitated. Grandma Emma was a very elegant woman, but after the war, she lost everything. She lived in a small house in the village. She always told me that her family had once been important, but I thought it was just the fantasies of an old woman. Matteo nodded. He was beginning to piece together the story. Many noble families had lost everything during the Civil War, and precious jewels had ended up hidden for generations. Sophia, I need to give you an accurate appraisal. Give me a few minutes, please. Matteo headed toward the back of the shop, leaving Sophia in the waiting room. The other customers continued whispering and staring, but Sophia didn't even notice. All her attention was focused on Lucas, who had stopped crying but seemed weak. In his office, Matteo consulted the historical catalogs. What he found confirmed his suspicions. The ring was part of the Imperial Emeralds collection, created by master jeweler Giuseppe Torriani in 1923 for the Count of Madrid family. Only 12 existed in the world, and this was number 7 in the series. Matteo returned to the room, his heart pounding. He looked at Sophia, who was trying to calm Lucas by softly singing him a lullaby. It was a scene that deeply moved him. Sophia said gently, I have some news for you. This ring is worth much more than you imagine. Really, maybe $500? Sophia asked, hope in her eyes. A little more, Matteo said with a gentle smile. Around $50,000. Sophia looked at him as if she'd misheard. What? $50,000? Her ring is an extremely rare collector's item. Sophia sat down heavily in a chair, still not believing what she'd heard. With that sum, she could buy milk for Lucas for years, she could pay the rent, she could start a decent life over again, but Matteo wasn't finished yet. What he was about to tell her would change not only her financial situation but the course of her entire existence. $50,000, Sophia repeated incredulously. But I only needed $20 for milk. Matteo smiled, touched by her innocence. Sophia, may I ask what you do for a living? I was a waitress, but I lost my job when Lucas was born. His father left when he found out about the pregnancy. Now I live on benefits, but it's never enough. Matteo looked at the ring again, then at Sophia. I have a proposal for you. I could buy the ring for its full value, $50,000, but first, let me tell you a story. Sophia nodded, still shocked by the figure. My father founded this jewelry store 40 years ago. It's always been family-run, and now it's my turn. But in recent years, with online business and competition, we've been struggling. I'm thinking of closing. Matteo sat down across from Sophia. But looking at you today, I had an idea. You have a family treasure I didn't know about. I have a jewelry store that needs a new lease on life. What if we join forces? I don't understand, Sophia said, cradling Lucas. I want to offer you a partnership. You become a co-owner of the jewelry store. I have the experience. You have something I've never had. What? Humanity, heart. Watching you come in here today, I saw something that was missing from this place. Our customers are wealthy, but often their purchases lack soul. Could you, to bring back that authenticity we're losing? Sophia looked at him as if he were crazy. Matteo, I don't know anything about jewelry. I'm an unemployed waitress, but I know what love is. I know what it means to sacrifice everything for someone. I know the true value of things. Matteo pointed to the ring. This isn't precious because of the diamonds, but because of the story behind it. Do you understand that? Sophia looked at Lucas, who had fallen asleep in her arms. And what would that entail? I'll give you the $50,000 for the ring plus a share in the jewelry store. You learn the trade, I'll teach you everything. And together we'll transform this place into something special. The other customers had stopped whispering and were listening curiously. This conversation was taking an unexpected turn. Why? Sophia asked. Why do you want to do this for me? Matteo looked toward the street, where he had seen Sophia walking uncertainly a little while before. Because today you reminded me why my father loved this work. It wasn't for the money. It was for the stories each piece of jewelry tells, for the special moments that he helped create. Sophia felt tears in her eyes. I don't know if I'm up to the task. Trust me, Matteo said, extending his hand. Sometimes life puts people in front of us who can change us. I think you are one of those people for me. Are you enjoying this story? Leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Now we continue with the video. 2 weeks later, Sophia looked at herself in the mirror of the small apartment that Matteo had helped her find in the center of Madrid. She wore a simple but elegant dress. Her hair was neatly styled, and for the first time in months she felt hopeful. Lucas slept peacefully in his new crib, satisfied and serene. With the money from the ring, Sophia had bought everything necessary for the child and had also hired a nanny for working hours. Matteo was waiting for her in front of the jewelry store with a smile. Ready for day one, partner. Sophia smiled nervously. I don't know if I'll ever be there, but I'll try. Upon entering the jewelry store, Sophia noticed that something had changed. There was a new corner with comfortable chairs and a small table with magazines. What's that? A reception area. I thought that mothers with children might need a place where they could feel comfortable. Sophia was thrilled. Matteo had thought of everything. Now, Matthew said, let's start with the basics. Every jewel has a story. Our job is not just to sell, but to help people find the right piece for their story. The first customer of the day was an elderly lady looking for a gift for her granddaughter. Sophia said, Matteo, why don't you try it? Sophia timidly approached the lady. Good morning. May I ask what kind of girl your granddaughter is? She is a very determined medical student, but also a romantic. Sophia thought, then, perhaps something that represents both strength and delicacy. She picked up a simple but elegant necklace. This one has a sturdy chain, but the pendant is a flower. Strength and beauty together. The lady smiled. Perfect. It's exactly what I was looking for. After the customer left, Matteo looked at Sophia, impressed. How did they choose so quickly? I've thought about what she would have wanted for me at her age, a gift that would tell me I can be strong and feminine at the same time. Matteo understood that he had made the right decision. In the afternoon, a young couple arrived looking for the wedding rings. Sophia listened to their love story and helped them choose rings that reflected their personalities. When they left, they were beaming. Sophia said Matteo that night, Today you have sold more in one day than I sold in a week. Seriously, people trust you. They see that he truly understands what they are going through. Sophia looked at the jewelry store, which she was already beginning to feel was like home. Matteo, thank you for everything. No, thank you. He has brought life to this place. But Sophia didn't know that her story was about to take an even more incredible turn, because her grandmother's ring hid a secret that was about to emerge. A month later, the Ruiz y Martinez jewelry store, the name having been changed to reflect the new partnership, was thriving. Sophia had revealed a natural talent for understanding customers and their needs, while Matteo took care of the technical aspects and expertise. One morning, while Sophia was arranging the shop window, an older man entered wearing elegant clothes and carrying a cane. She was about 80 years old, with white hair and eyes that seemed to have seen a lot. Good morning, said the man in a distinguished voice. I am Count Alexander Count. I heard that they recently acquired a ring from the Torriani collection. Sophia and Matteo looked at each other. Yes, said Matteo. I can ask you how you know, because that emerald was part of a set of jewels that belonged to my family. I'm here to buy them back. Sophia felt a chill run down her spine. Excuse me? What do you mean by belong to your family? The Count looked at her intently. That emerald, along with a necklace and earrings, was given to my sister Emma as a dowry in 1943. During the war, Emma fled with her family to escape the fascists. We never saw them again. Sophia paled. Emma Condé. Yes, my sister's name was Emma Condé. Because? Sophia sat down heavily. Because Emma Condé was my grandmother. The silence that followed was deafening. The Count stared at Sophia with wide eyes, as if he were seeing a ghost. You are Emma's granddaughter. Yes, Grandma Emma Martinez. She always said her maiden name was different, but she never told me which one. The Count approached Sophia, his eyes filled with tears. My child, I've been searching for my sister for 80 years. And you? You my niece, my great-niece. Sophia felt her legs give way. Matteo held her up as she tried to process the information. This means, the Count began, that you are the rightful heir to the Count's estate, including the lands in Andalusia, the palace in Seville, and a significant stake in Condé Industries. Sophia looked at Matteo, then at the Count. But I'm just a waitress. You're a countess, the Count said proudly. And now that I've found you, I want you to take your rightful place in the family. Matteo took Sophia's hand. Sophia, this changes everything. But Sophia looked at the jewelry, the work she had built, the life she had begun to create. No, he said firmly, this doesn't change who I am. Count Alexander stayed in the jewelry store for hours telling Sophia the story of the Count family and his grandmother Emma. During the war, Emma had married a young soldier named José Martinez. She had changed her identity to escape persecution and had lived hidden in the village for the rest of her life. Your grandmother was brave, the Count said. She gave up everything to protect her family. And now you have inherited that courage. Sophia held Lucas in her arms as she listened. Uncle Alejandro, she said, surprised to use that term, I appreciate everything you are offering me, but I have a life here now. Child, we are talking about millions of euros, a position in society. You could have anything you want. Sophia looked at Matteo, who was listening silently. Matteo, what do you think? I think the decision is yours, but know that whatever you choose, I will support you. Sophia stood up and walked to the shop window, looking towards Serrano Street. Uncle Alejandro, 2 months ago I was a desperate mother who couldn't afford milk for my son. Today I have a job I love, a partner who respects me, and I am building something of my own. She turned to the Count. I accept my inheritance, but only on one condition, which is that we use part of that fortune to create something useful. I want to start a fund to help single mothers in need, and I want Matteo to be my partner in everything I do. The Count smiled. Emma would be proud of you. You have her generous heart. Matteo approached Sophia. Are you sure? You're giving up a completely different life, aren't you? Sophia said, taking his hand. I'm choosing the life I want to live with the people I want by my side. A year later, the Emma Condé Foundation had helped hundreds of families in need. The jewelry store had become the benchmark not only for luxury jewelry but also for its ethical business philosophy. Sophia and Matteo had married in a simple yet elegant ceremony. And Lucas had found a loving father in Matteo. You know, Sophia said one evening as they were closing the store. When I came in here that day, I thought I was just selling a ring. And instead, Matteo asked, smiling. Instead, I found a family, a future, and myself. Matteo kissed her sweetly. And I found the person who transformed my life from a business into a mission. Her story proved that sometimes the moments of deepest despair can become the beginning of the most incredible opportunities. And the true value of a jewel lies not in its carats or price, but in the lives it changes. Grandma Emma's ring had done much more than feed a child. It had united 2 souls, rebuilt a family, and created a future of hope for hundreds of people. If this story has touched you and made you believe that even in the darkest moments, new hope can be found, leave a little heart below. I want to hear your stories. Have you ever discovered something unexpected about a family heirloom? Do you believe that difficulties can be transformed into opportunities? Have you ever received help from a stranger in a time of need? Tell me about your experiences of transformation and second chances in the comments. If this story has touched your heart, like it. If you believe that kindness can change a person's destiny, subscribe so you don't miss stories that prove miracles truly exist. Share with anyone who needs to believe that even from darkness, something new can be born. The light, infinite commentary. If you too believe that every ending can be a new beginning, remember, often the greatest treasures are those we don't know we possess. And sometimes a gesture of desperation can open the door to a future we never imagined. Life always has a secret card to play when we least expect it. See you in the next video with another story that will make you believe in the magic hidden in every day of our lives. See?